Hello, Tony. Welcome. I forgot we did weird intros to this, but also we do timestamps. You ever heard of the
What?
AV1 encoder, Tony?
Oh, it sounds very spooky, yeah.
It's so spooky that I've got it running right now to encode this
Oh
video
my
on my
god.
brand new GTX 4080 card. Those bastards at Nvidia, they got me.
They
They
got
got me.
Wait, how much did you spend on that one?
We don't talk about that.
Okay.
I got it
More than a
for
grand?
I got it for MSRP because it's the Founders
Ooh.
Edition. So
Okay,
I
okay.
got it for the Founders Edition
That's a lot.
MSRP.
That's a
Yeah,
lot, especially like with like how
it's
bad the pound
it's
is right now.
it's a lot less than the fucking third party. Like, there's literally no
Yeah.
point to buying third party cards, and
Well
I
they
think I have the feeling Nvidia kind of likes that.
yeah, I'm saying that they kind of I assume they've like undercut their quote unquote competition. Sorry, I mean the board partners.
I think it is just going to get to the point where Nvidia is going to be like, we're not doing third party cards, we're just going to
Yeah.
fab our own cards from now on.
It
Which is,
sucks for everyone else to not like who's again EVGA. I'm just thinking here. It kind of sucks for people like
or
that.
even like who was it? Was it Asus? Who was it who did the Noctua GPU? I thought that was super cool.
Yeah, was that Asus?
Let me look
I
it
can't
up.
remember now.
I have the internet.
Yeah, we have the
Was it
internet.
MSI? Let me look. Oh yeah, it was Asus did the Noctua
Asus,
GPU.
okay. Yeah,
I'm an Asus enjoyer now because I got an Asus power
yeah. I
supply.
I quite like Asus. They're good. I like Gigabyte as well, but I know that people have
Yeah.
problems customer support with them. But
Well, I ordered an MSI power supply and it came like dead on arrival. I was going insane, so I got a replacement one, and that was also dead on arrival. And I was like going crazy trying to like figure out what the fuck was going on. And then oh wait a minute, this is not what we want. Yeah,
more skulls.
more skulls. And I got the Asus one, and it just worked. And I was from a different company, but
Yeah.
I'm guessing it was just a bad batch that Scan had in, so that was the reason why it was giving me so much issue. I'm not gonna try and because I saw so many people online saying mine's working perfectly, and that's what was
Hmm.
driving me insane. I was
Yeah.
like, I cannot. I was literally like unplugging and plugging cables, and I
The
did
thing
like
is,
paperclip tests, and the thing just
yeah.
refused to power on. Like I
What
spoke
was
to my dad spoke to
are you?
his friend at work who's an electrical engineer, and he was like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, there's not much more you can do than opening it up." And he was like, "I would very much recommend you don't open it up
Mm-hmm.
because if you don't know, do not open a power supply. It
No.
can kill you."
Unless you're
Um,
like, unless you like know what you're doing, like you're actually like certified, like don't.
Hello, this is the Halloween episode of Tangerine.
I was gonna say, like I feel like power supply being the thing that's dead is like super annoying because like they almost always work, so it's like the last
Yes,
thing you suspect.
well, it is. Well, I did get the sus power supply. I
Yeah,
always
that's
call I
pretty
always call,
sus.
I always call Asus sus now because when I ordered my Asus motherboard, there was a spelling error on the Amazon page where they missed the A, so it just said sus, and to a point where the delivery literally came and it said on the box sus motherboard. So I get all my
That's
sus stuff
great.
from our friends at
Yeah,
Asus. So there we go. But
sponsored by
this is
sus.
it's been so fucking long since we recorded Tangerine, and it's half your fault, half my fault. That it's just the
I like.
perfect storm of us both. Okay, so these fuckers suck up your gems. They're so annoying. You
You
want to kill
say it's
these
half
ASAP?
half. I'm pretty sure it was more my fault, but
Well, I wasn't in the country for a long time.
that's true. That
Um,
I was willing to do it at that point, and then you weren't there.
yeah, I've been super fucking busy, and then every time you're like, okay, I can record. I'm like, but I'm playing the next game to
Yeah,
Tangerine,
yeah. And then like
which
you're
is
like,
the
"Oh, I'm ready to do it." And I'm like, "No, I'm busy."
yeah. This is so we're gonna try and bash out Tangerines. I'm assuming a lot of the games I've been playing this year when we do the games of the year, which is going to be soon, I hope, because I've pretty much played everything I wanted to play. I think for the games of the year award and hopefully the meme awards, which will be its own separate video as well.
Yeah.
Um, we can. I'll basically do like a mega tangent. It might be like fucking 3 hours long or something. The games of the year's award because I'll start tangerining every game I haven't talked about yet. but it will mean that the backlog of games I've played but nobody knows I've played because I haven't talked about will be a lot smaller.
Right. So be
Which
in
will be
that.
good.
Yeah. Okay.
This is a game called Devil Daggers. So this is a game. So every Halloween from I think last year onwards. I don't remember if I did the previous year. But I essentially um, was very put down by the spirit of Halloween in the beginning because I was getting annoyed of how close it was to Christmas and it didn't allow me to
Yeah.
celebrate Christmas. And then I decided that it was dumb and that
You stopped the culture war.
I stopped the war on Halloween basically, and I said, you know
Yeah.
what? I'm going to fully embrace Halloween and just see what this season's all about. So I'm going to usually. I think for me it was a couple of weeks. I think the first time I did it, I think the entire month, I would refuse to play a game with anyone unless it had a Halloween theme to it. It was a Halloween game.
Yeah. The whole month is a bit long, I would say, even for
Yeah.
me.
But I think it is a good like exercise to go, okay, I'm
Yeah.
only going to be playing like spooky games like
Being in the because I very like because I really like spooky stuff. Like yeah, like force myself to like be in the mood, or like just like watching stuff that's like spooky. Like it really
and I
helps
think
me
it
enjoy
really has
Halloween
like
more.
improved my appreciation for the holiday. Um Like it has like real like cultural mythological ties
Yeah.
with the idea of like the Day of the Dead and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Um,
And, like witches and
but I always just saw the commercial element of it where it was more like this is a day about people going around and demanding people give them sweets.
I love that
Uh,
sort of stuff, but I can understand like not wanting like if that's the only thing you think about. Like I don't want to be a part of that. And it's like, well, what's the point of the
yeah.
holiday?
Yeah, I feel like I would accept games that have Halloween themes. So Scream Fortress from TF2 is allowed. A
Yeah,
Halloween map in a level editor like golf with your friends would be allowed.
yeah.
So this is Devil Daggers. This is pretty much the entire game when I'm playing right now. It is a fast-paced arena shooter.
It looks great.
It is great. I was really
I
addicted to
love
this game for
skulls
a
and
long
things.
time. This is why Tony's banned in China.
Yeah, I am definitely the skeleton. Like, if I could choose a race, it'd be skeleton.
There,
That's
I'm
that's
gonna
my
blow your
main.
mind. We're all skeleton race right now.
What? Yeah, then you
Underneath
know what?
those,
That just makes it.
underneath those flashbacks.
If once we died, we came back as skeletons, that would be cool. Unfortunately, when you die, you're just dead. So it
So
doesn't really count in my mind.
Devil Daggers is so I'll just say now there's literally a guide for surviving. I think it's like 500 seconds, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it's a fucking lot when this stuff starts to like creep up and spawn up on you. The really cool thing about this game is it seems really simple at first, but then as you play it, it becomes more and more complicated. And there's actually a lot of strategy and tactics to this game, and it's almost better to go in blind with this one. So if you're looking at this and you're like, this one, like, it's not, there's not a point where it turns into like a fucking narrative game or something like that. It's not that kind of, it's not like a Daniel Mullins game, but it is a game where there's kind of some strategy to it, and it's kind of cool to try and learn that. So if you want to move on to the next timestamp, go ahead. But I'll explain the basic mechanics. So the skulls being shot at you, their AI kind of, I think they run around and chase you. Yeah, they're homing.
They're like homing missiles in a way.
Whereas the skulls, I believe they're called like dumb skulls or something. They're numbskulls, maybe.
Numbskulls.
They're basically
What is that tentacle thing, by the way? Like I keep saying it like
those towers.
That thing. No, that thing.
That thing is really important to kill.
Okay. It looks like a boss.
He spawns like these like green spider eggs that they chase. These like spider things that chase down and kill you.
Those things look amazing.
But this is where the strategy comes. So every time I'm killing like these spires here, right? You see these red skulls they're dropping. So harder enemies will drop red gems, and picking up these red gems actually powers up your weapon. Once you get enough of them, your weapon will level up and you'll become stronger, which is a really important part of the game. But the really interesting thing is, as soon as you shoot these gems, the gem will fly onto the floor, and you have to go and pick it up. The best way to pick up gems is by not shooting. Which then leads to a situation where you're like, fuck, I'm being chased by a lot of stuff, but I kind of want to stop shooting so I can pick up these gems.
Why do you have to stop shooting?
So you can't just be running around spamming... so it adds like a risk-reward to the gems, where you want to pick up the gems to get more powerful, but in order to pick up the gems, you need to stop attacking things.
Right, so you
And
can't.
then
You physically
also
can't pick up
another,
if you're attacking.
and it makes it easier as well because you can shoot the gems away from you as well.
Ah, okay.
Um, but yeah. Also, so you know I was talking about those spawner things. The really important thing about killing them as quickly as possible is that they actually start sucking up all the gems on the floor and then destroy them if you don't kill them quickly enough.
Oh, right. Okay.
Which is why they're like the strategy of this game gets like starts to get kind of complicated. The general rule of thumb is if it spawns, kill it, but there is
Yeah.
priority targets.
But yeah, what's the prioritizing?
Like destroying the spires right now is the priority target, whereas the dumb skulls or numbskulls or whatever, they're kind of whatever. They'll just move around randomly. But there's even like nuances to the movement where I'm on the floor here, but in my later playthroughs, there's like jumping's a big thing. You can do like almost like bunny hopping, and then
Oh, you can bunny
also there's like your gun sort of has a knockback, so you can kind of like do like the shotgun blast knockback kind of technique. And as you'll see, as you kill more enemies, the light expands out, and that increases the play area, sort of thing.
Oh, I think it's harder because there's more stuff can
Yeah,
spawn.
but yeah, I've had this game on my radar for ages because I've been into like boomer shooter stuff, and I've seen people talk about this, and I thought, well, Halloween's a great time to try and play this, and I gotta say, it's really fucking cheap. I think it's at the moment it's like £7, but it goes on sale regularly for like a couple of quid. And I would highly recommend picking up at least on sale because you will get at least a couple of hours of playtime out of this. I have 2.3 hours over Halloween, and I'm telling you, and that's someone who's just said it's hard to get to 500 seconds in this game.
Yeah.
So yeah, this game is genuinely really, really fun, and also the same dev released a game in 2022 called Hyperdemon, which looks like this on LSD.
Yeah, that's good.
Which I'm excited to try as well, and maybe I'll play that one next Halloween. But yeah, definitely check that one out. Next up we have... Oh, let's talk about Typing of the Dead Overkill, because I fucking love this game.
This one's hilarious.
I think this is killing... That's Killing of the Dead mode. I think we should talk about Typing of the Dead mode first.
Yeah, 100%.
So, Typing of the Dead... I believe Typing of the Dead originally was a game on the Sega Dreamcast? But it's basically... Like, you would have it on an arcade cabinet, and on the arcade cabinet there would be like a physical keyboard on it, which you would type on to shoot the zombies. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, the game House of the Dead was very popular. I mean, if you've ever been to an arcade... And the UK arcades were generally inside the cinema for some reason.
Yeah. It's kind of like a thing going next to it.
There was never like a dedicated arcade.
No.
Anywhere really. It was more like you went to the cinema and there was an arcade in there, and you would.
But it was like.
Yeah.
I was saying it makes sense because like it's a place you went to and as like a weekend sort of thing, like so like having everything there like kind of made sense to me. I don't know.
Papa's Palace of Pets. So basically, House of the Dead is you would have light guns, and then you would shoot zombies as they come on the screen, and it would try and take your credits away from you, so you have to keep going.
Yeah.
I believe it was Sega's the publisher on this one. It's Modern Dream with this one. I'm not sure what else they've done, but basically, they took the arcade machine of the typing version, and they took the House of the Dead gameplay, and essentially to kill the zombies, you have to type to kill them, which you will see in a second here. But they have this great like 70s, 80s grindhouse theme to the entire thing, and it's just amazing.
The story is hilariously stupid.
Yes.
Oh, you don't want to crank up to 11?
Oh, always crank up to 11. That's the real thing.
I feel like everything about this is like taking the piss out of something.
Yeah. You can use like tab to pick up collectibles.
Okay.
Because you can use that to pick up like med kits and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But this game is just genuinely really fucking fun, and it never takes itself seriously, which I think really just adds to the fun. I think the like House of the Dead games are always like at least a little bit. So there's a slow-mo power-up you can pick up, which will help you out with killing the zombies before they get to you. the House of the Dead games are always kind of campy, but I think this
Yeah.
game, like as you said, turns it up to 11. I think it just goes crazy with the
The
idea.
story gets more and more insane as you get closer to the end.
And I'm all for it. It is just so ridiculous that I just love it. This is like a genuine like treat of a game. I think it's like one of my favorite games I played that year. It was really fun. Just like streaming this on Discord to friends.
It's definitely the funniest game I saw.
Yeah. I think the problem with this game on terms of like people play, I think you can get it on Steam, which is cool, but like almost never goes on sale on Steam.
What does it not? Okay.
No, it hasn't been on sale on Steam since like 2017. But I got it from like Fanatical, like a official third-party key reseller website. I was able to get it on there for like not that much, like a couple of quid or something. So if you're looking to purchase this game, I would say look more towards like the official third-party key resellers because it's quite expensive on Steam. Like it's not like crazy. It's like £15, but you can get it a lot cheaper somewhere else usually.
Yeah. It's a little bit expensive for what it is, I suppose. Oh no, I feel like I don't know how much I would spend, but yeah, I feel like it's a little bit too steep. It is hilarious though.
I mean, I have 6.5 hours on this game, and I've played through the entire game in Typing of the Dead mode and House of the Dead mode, which is interesting as well, because we'll talk about House of the Dead mode in a bit as well. But the general idea is you're essentially following several characters and going through their story, and then they seeing how they intersect with other characters. So you have like this balls to the wall, like no nonsense maverick
Wafer Thin Mint,
and he's been paired up with this like super G-man CIA agent kind of dude.
Yeah,
and then the story just evolves. Yeah, into the villain is very much that Resident Evil villain where he's like, I'm a very bad guy because I am a bad guy.
And he loves it.
Yeah.
I love some of these words, by the way. Like, there's wafer thin mint and may I eat your brain? Or may I eat you, I think.
Usually, so another cool thing is like it's not a stickler, so you don't have to like put in spaces, or you don't have to do like it's not a stickler for like apostrophes and stuff like that, which is cool.
Oh, it doesn't care.
Yeah. Oh, I missed the slow-mo power up there.
Oh, is that what that is? Okay.
Yeah, that like red gene thing is the slow-mo power up. I do like this type of game. You ever played a game called Bookworm? It was like a PopCap game. Like PopCap Bookworm Deluxe.
Was it like a typing game?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was like a word forming game. We just
it
was like a puzzle game, but like I feel like
it helps you
typing games or like word forming they're so like undervalued in gaming. It's like it is a powerful learning tool as well. Like to most people, I wouldn't say put your 5-year-old in front of this game and have them play it, but they would probably be quite good at typing. But they would probably be quite good at typing by the end of it. That's all
I would say a lot of adults I feel a lot of people can't type. I don't want to say properly, but like quickly.
I remember like the way I learned to touch type was I had a I cannot for the life of me remember what the game was, but I literally had a Disney Lion King game that taught me how to touch type.
Oh right,
I have no idea what the game was called because they were called like Activity Center games. I don't know if you remember those, but in like the late 90s, early 90s, activity games for kids was super popular.
Yeah.
The one I do, Batman Activity Center. That's one I like played massively when I was a kid. I still remember like you would play a game of what's it called when you match two cards together? Snap with the Two-Face, and he'd just be sitting there going, "Take your turn already," the whole time.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I can't say enough good things about this game. It has boss mode. I'll show. So this is the evil guy, just beating the hell out of the crippled guy.
Isn't that his kid?
No,
Is it not?
no. There's a lot of stuff in this game where it's like this would not fly in current day, but it's
Well, I mean,
also
they're deliberately being.
obtuse. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're deliberately trying to channel that like, oh god, this would not fly today nature of like
Yeah.
70s, 80s grindhouse films.
It doesn't make any sense either. But yeah, I feel like if it's because it doesn't take itself seriously, I think it's acceptable.
But this is like a
What the
boss
hell
fight.
is going on? Just,
It's essentially our boss fight. So this is like a what's it called? Telekinesis kind of boss. So you have to shoot the debris he's firing, and then shoot as he's like sending stuff flying at you. I would say this boss battle actually makes a lot more sense in the House of the Dead mode. I don't know if
right.
if they designed it around the House of the Dead mode first and then went back and did the Typing of the Dead. I mean, the Typing of the Dead mode is the main mode, but some of it feels like it was designed for the House of the Dead mode. So, although this fight is a lot longer in House of the Dead mode, I would say.
Oh,
Like
really?
a lot of the bosses felt harder on House of the Dead mode, but they felt like when you have the ability to aim. So like in this mode,
Yeah.
you are simply it's all keyboard. You're just typing. Whereas the House of the Dead mode, you're actually aiming a gun, similar to like the old school House of the Dead. If you know what I'm talking about, watch our spotlight on House of the Dead HD that we put out at Halloween. That was another Halloween game I played and I wanted to talk about. But yeah, I really like those sort of Halloween arcade shooter sort of thing. I think they're really fun, and I wish there was more of them. I mean, like, bar like the remake of House of the Dead and Typing of the Dead, you just don't really get them anymore. They just seem to be forgotten about.
Yeah, and it's definitely something else. Like it's different. It's not. It's definitely missing from.
Guys, this is listed
games.
as playable on the Steam Deck, so...
Whoa.
Wait,
Okay.
I think this would be awful on the Steam Deck, though.
Yeah. How is it? How would you play it? Oh, is he dead?
He's done. He's done.
Oh, I just remembered who the sister was.
Family betrayed.
How do you say that shit without moving your lips? Gee, you see this shit? Mercy.
Let's talk about... This goes on to Dee's sister. Two men. But then that goes on to... Oh, where is it? Ah, here it is. This is so this is House of the Dead mode. This is more going to be your simple left click to shoot, press R to reload. And the thing I found interesting about this one is it didn't feel like just a tacked on mode. Like they actually put a lot of interesting thoughts into it. So you start off with the pistol, but based on your score you get money. Well, I think actually you shoot piles of cash, and then you use those piles of cash to upgrade your weapons, or you buy new guns. So there's like shotguns, there's SMGs, there's lots of different stuff. I actually found like the fully upgraded pistol was just better than most of the other weapons. Like I did go and buy a lot of different guns and fully upgrade them, but I think the ability to just spam shots with the pistol makes bosses so freaking easy. One of the big differences I found as well with Typing of the Dead versus House of the Dead. On House of the Dead, you can choose where you're shooting, so you can shoot a lot of like background zombies, I will say.
Before they even become a problem.
Yeah, so if because I played it before and Typing of the Dead, I was like, oh, this guy's going to attack me.
Yeah.
So I can shoot him before he even starts walking towards me. Or there were zombies where you wouldn't get attacked by them on Typing of the Dead because you would never have a prompt to type to shoot them, but you could just shoot them for bonus score, I guess, on this mode, which is like a big difference.
Right, yeah.
But I think they're both like interesting ways to play, and I would recommend playing through the game on like both modes. I think it's interesting enough.
Yeah.
I think the final boss fight is a lot better on House of the Dead mode, whereas so the final boss for Typing of the Dead, you basically get a minigun, and you have to type in a bunch of words, but there's a bunch of words that have been like they have a filter.
They want a specific like type of word like, in that
You get like bonus points for like swear words. You get bonus points for typing like the developer's name or stuff like we've got a Grindhouse stuff. Yeah, so if you're really into like Grindhouse B movies, like fucking zombie shit, like you will absolutely adore this game. But if you're not like fully into that sort of, the final boss can be kind of annoying, I would say.
Yeah, it looks annoying to me.
Oh, there's a grenade system in House of the Dead mode as well, where you can shoot grenades and then use them to quickly clean out an area, like straight away, sort of thing. Also, it's very hard to shoot civilians on Typing of the Dead. I was accidentally shooting civilians on House of the Dead a lot.
I remember lots of civilians getting killed. I mean, they were asking for it, but
yeah. Yeah, highly recommend this game. If you can get it on sale, definitely check it out. It's a really, really fun game. Let's move on to the final game. Demon Turf. Demon Turf is an interesting game. I saw the trailer for this, and I was like, immediately like, fuck yeah, I want to play this. This is right up my alley.
Yeah.
It hits that 3D platformer, collectathon, like... It's this great art style of 2D and 3D, and I looked at it and I was like, this is so much of what I usually play. Like, I'm a huge fan of Hat in Time. I think Hat in Time is like the gold standard for indie platformers. And I was really, really looking forward to this being another one I was really going to enjoy. And I've got to be honest, this game I did not gel with very well.
Because the art style, like it's very like the main character is very interesting the way that they've done it. I quite like that. But yeah, I think I watched play some of this as well. And it's like the levels seemed annoying.
Yeah, it's just like the 2D 3D mix looks cool, but it's actually kind of makes platforming a lot harder in the 3D space. I felt like.
Even with that shadow, like it was just hard to see like where you were gonna be.
Like I know I saw because I was like going insane. I was like, everyone seems to love this, but I really don't gel with it at all. So I was looking at videos of what people seem to like about the game, and they were saying like you have so much freedom of movement in the game a lot of the times where it has a very diverse movement set in the game.
Yeah.
But it's like a movement set that has restrictions in order to get you to use it in unique ways, I would say.
It
seems like it's a game. Like if you're going to compare this game to a game like Hat in Time, or especially like Hellpie's movement set is so good, and it's really, really easy to use. And you can use it in such interesting ways, but it's not. It never holds you back. There is a lot of recovery mechanics in Hellpie. Like you can get like 4 swings, triple jumps. Like there's never a point in the game where I'm like, oh, it feels so bad to try and make this jump because I know I won't be able to make it. I'll have to do this jump several times. It's like, no, I can like triple jump. I can jump off this wall. I can do a dive. I can swing. Like I should be able to make most jumps, because it has so much recovery, and
I don't have to think about it. It's not like setting up a jump.
People were praising this game because they were comparing it to like one of the greatest of all time, like Mario 64. They were saying like Mario 64 gives you so much freedom in that game to move, but it's never like super easy to move in that game in terms of like the game is you don't have triple jumps, you don't have like swinging mechanics, you don't have like gliding, you don't have a lot of recovery mechanics, but it's it feels like one of those games where it's like it's easy to get the basics down, but when you get into the advanced mechanics, it's really hard to master. Whereas it's I would say Demon Turf is a game with a very high skill ceiling, which comes at the cost of its like general movement feeling kind of bad. At least for me, a lot of the time, like there's no like ledge grabbing, like there's no like you were almost
You
on
have to
that
make it or
platform,
not,
so
yeah.
we'll push. It's much more precise platforming, which
Yeah.
I'm just generally not a big fan. Like I tried to play the Crash Bandicoot remastered games, and that's all about precise did you see that? So like I'm
Yeah.
gonna go. I was pretty much on that platform. But the
They
game was
decided,
like,
no.
no, you're not fully enough on that platform, so we're going to make you slide off. This is the sort of stuff I'm talking... This is where this stuff really fucking annoys me.
It's also, you have to just redo it. Like, I don't. To me, I don't see what the point was like redoing some of this stuff. It's like, why? I kind of see what you mean, but like, yeah, not gelling. Like, I feel like I prefer. I think I prefer the stuff like.
This is
you do, like, in terms
completely
of that.
tangent, but like in Half-Life Alyx, like when you throw stuff in VR, a lot of people are going to be awful at throwing stuff in VR. It kind of guides it for you a little bit.
Yeah.
Even though it is technically it's helping you and you're not fully controlling it. It's like having aim assist on a controller. Like a controller feels fucking awful without aim assist on it in like FPSs and stuff. Like
wouldn't recommend without it. Yeah.
Because a lot of people like to complain about playing against console players on a PC and be like, oh, they're doing all the aiming for them. But I think you would be like saying the other way if you were on a controller and you were playing without aim assist and you were just like seeing how it was. One thing I'll mention, you get to set your own checkpoints. I love this mechanic. It's so cool. I talked about it in that boomer shooter game. What's it called? The one with the crazy woman.
The one with the crazy woman.
Yeah, there's not many.
What?
Let me try and look it up.
Is there any other? What was the
She's an
visual
alien
style,
woman.
Like? What was the visual style?
Just gonna type alien boomer shooter woman, and that will find it. Viscera Fest is literally the first result.
Okay.
Viscera Fest. It was like a boomer shooter where you were like going around. You were like an alien assassin, and we did a spotlight on it.
Is this like in? Oh, I can't. Yeah, I'm just. I can't remember. Like, I need some.
Viscera Fest. Essentially,
like...
the thing was really cool because it gave you a limited amount of checkpoints, and it was like you can set your checkpoints wherever you want, but you have a limited amount. Which I love this system.
Yeah.
Where essentially you get to choose how much you want to risk having to do again, and then you get to teleport between them for like collectibles and stuff, which is really cool. So I'm just going to list some of the really good qualities about Demon Turf. I love the art style. Self-placing checkpoints, really fucking awesome. Great idea. The music soundtrack is amazing. I love the music because essentially there's this place called Fork Town that's like got giant forks in it, and it's like, let's get forked up is what they sing. And then there's a pig version, and they sing let's get porked up in like in the pig levels. There's snow levels where the soundtrack variation changes to let's chill out. So essentially they're like different variations of the same motif, but they sound different in their own way as well. Like I was
consistently different.
One of the most interesting things, usually when I put game soundtracks on... I have a YouTube playlist of game soundtracks I like, so I was like, oh, I'll put the Demon Turf soundtrack on my game soundtrack list on YouTube. Usually it's a lot easier to find game soundtracks on YouTube than it is Spotify. For Demon Turf, it was okay. Combat is fucking awful. I'm trying to say positive things. I need this combat off my screen.
Stay positive. Stay positive.
Stay positive for now. Do not. The combat is fucking awful.
It looks bad.
Stay positive. The music is good. I couldn't find it on YouTube, but I can find it on Spotify, and I feel like it's always the other way around when it comes to game soundtracks. It's just kind of interesting.
Is it just not on YouTube, or is named weird?
I could find one song, but not like the whole soundtrack or the song I was looking for.
Right.
So, have I said everything positive? I like collecting things. Oh, collectibles. When you have like one or two you can press a button and it will show you the direction of the collectibles are in. So when you're on that level where you just have like one collectible left, It is so useful to have this thing where it goes, oh, the collectible's in this direction, and then you've got to find it from
Oh,
there.
that's cool.
I hate
Yeah.
games where they just go, no, we're giving
It's
you no
somewhere.
help, and
Yeah.
then you have to go to YouTube for this sort of thing.
Yeah.
It just makes it really frustrating. Like I was
It's
getting
not
frustrated
gameplay
by
to have to find
Hellpie because that game just came out and there was no YouTube tutorials because the game just came out. So I was like having to find all this stuff for myself with no help whatsoever from the game. Essentially, so okay, I've said some nice things. The combat is all physics based, and it also causes massive slowdown to the game whenever you use physics in this game. So the combat always feels awful. The combat comes down to you essentially charge up a punch, which then you use to push enemies into spikes. And it is always so, like, floaty and finicky.
Why can't you punch them into spikes like Mario? Wouldn't that make
I
sense?
would love a melee combat system.
That would be
amazing.
amazing.
You want to hear something? They released, like, a expansion for this game called Demon Turf Neon Splash, which I have not played, which I might go back and play at some point, depending on how I feel. But
yeah.
They essentially just removed combat from the game in that version, and everyone was like, this was a good change. Because combat just slows the game down, and there's certain parts of the game where combat is required to advance, and it's so fucking dumb.
Yeah, I feel like if you're gonna in my opinion, this sort of game, you'd have combat be a distraction, which you could, in a clever way, skip if like they're in the way, but you can like skip in a clever way. But it's like risky. It's how I would have approached it.
But like getting deeper into like the movement controls of the character, I was getting really frustrated because there's so many like arbitrary rules for movement that just feel really bad. Where it's like, if you wall jump, you can no longer spin jump. But if you spin jump, you can no longer... And there's just like...
Oh, yeah.
It's really... The game... I'm guessing it's on purpose for the skill ceiling, but the game makes chaining together moves really hard without some sort of mastery over the game. And what that ends up feeling like for someone who's not going to dump hundreds of hours into this game, it makes it feel really bad, in my opinion.
Yeah, it looks annoying. Was this the game as well where you could choose like put in like different upgrade things that gave you different moves?
Yes.
Types?
So there's like a battery system or something.
Oh, that was a good idea, but
yeah.
How does that work in practice?
There was essentially it had a bunch of different. So you had a limited amount of slots you could take, and then different abilities took up more points. And then you had a max amount of points.
Yeah, okay.
Most of the time, I would just put on like the extra checkpoint, or I would just put on the faster movement. Pretty much. Other than that, there was not much there was combat related stuff, but I never put on combat related stuff because I'd never wanted to engage with the combat, and it never really felt like it was going to make it that much easier.
Yeah.
So this is the Fork Town. Let's get forked up.
It's pretty banging.
I like the soundtrack. I think genuinely one of my more favourite parts of the game, which is a shame because I feel like I completed this game. What I essentially did was I finished every level. I beat the final boss. I collected every cake, which is one of the collectibles. And when you beat a level, it has like this cool alternative world version of it, which I was like, this is a really great idea. You take the same general layout and then you flip it on its head, and it almost turns into a brand new level, which I was like, this is a really cool idea. So I got all the cakes in the first one, and I beat all of the alternative ones. But then they added a second collectible on the alternative versions called Lollipops. And I think it got to the point where I was playing through levels trying to find lollipops, but some of them you had to do like weird physics shit, and I was just getting so frustrated. I was like, you know what? I've finished the game. I don't want to play this anymore. Like, completing the game was enough for me, sort of thing. Like, I don't feel compelled to 100% get all the lollipops. I liked getting all the cakes. I liked beating all the levels. But getting all the lollipops, I don't care. Like, I'm getting frustrated by the mechanics of this game. And that's a shame, because there is something there's good stuff in Demon Turf, but it just falls short to a point where I'm almost wouldn't recommend it to most people, which is such because there's so much good hidden inside Demon Turf, I feel, but I don't know. Maybe I need to play the expansion, the Neon Splash thing, where they remove the combat and hopefully refine the game a bit more. But yeah, for me, the gold standard Hat in Time, or Mario or Hellpie, like still the gold standard for movement in 3D platforming. This is not for me, I don't think.
Yeah, for me, this looks an annoying movement as well, like just watching it. But
this could be for you. Like if you're somebody who's like, I like mastering weird movement system with arbitrary rules, then this is the game for you.
But I just thought I don't know. I feel like when you explain like what you could and couldn't do, like I kind of I kind of disagree with why you can't do that. I'd rather you could do both. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's very light in recovery mechanics,
like that,
which in theory would make a more compelling game to master, but in practice just made it feel like a sloppier controlled game.
Yeah, not for us anyway.
Yeah. Oh, I also played the Dark Pictures anthology Little Hope as well. I did not record it.
Okay.
But it was okay. It has that what's his name? Will Alter kid. At the moment, at my current rate, I'm playing one Dark Pictures game per Halloween, and then streaming it to friends. So I'll play what's the one after Little Hope? It's House of Ashes next, The Devil in Me next, and there's also that Quarry game that came out last year.
Yeah,
which I'm interested to try as well. So I'll just.
Did they release a game every year or something? Because I swear you're always like 2 games behind.
Yeah, they seem to release them quite often. I think because they released The Quarry and The Devil in Me in the same year. I think they both released them last year. But I always find these games pretty fun. In the fact that you're essentially just watching a horror movie while making some decisions of trying to keep characters alive. It's essentially just quick time events sort of thing. Which the movement in this one was not great in terms of. I'm talking about Little Hope. Moving around felt really bad in the game. Until I got into the options menu and changed some options around.
It was just wrong key binding sort of problem, or
yeah, there was different. I think it was It was you move around as a 3D character when you're walking around between the the cutscene sections, right?
Right.
But it was point and click, and I was like, why can't I use the WSD on the mouse and keyboard? And then I was like, oh, you can in the options. It's just not on by default, and it's just oh, for fuck's sake. But yeah. I still have a lot of fun with it. I think it's more of a fun thing if you're doing it Halloween or streaming it to friends can be really fun. I like the Dark Pictures game. I know some people don't like them, but I've really liked them so far. So
I have I don't know, not love-hate relationship, but I kind of
the thing is, a lot of people like them because they're so buggy and broken a lot of the times. They just seem funny as well.
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
This is a great. Okay, so this is a great example here. Look, there's no reason for me to be up here, but I'm literally just exploring the mechanics of how to move in order to move. This is the stuff where if you could funnel people into doing this sort of stuff, it would be really good. Where it's just I have no reason to be up here, but it's just I'm moving in an interesting way, and I want to see if I can get up here. This is the shit I do all the time in games like A Hat in Time and Hellpie. It was great to just be I probably should go this way, and this is the way I'm supposed to go, but it's so much fun to try and find shortcuts in order to try and beat the level faster, or try and move in a way the game didn't want me to move in. Yeah. Anyway. Tangerine Halloween, it's only next year. We got it out, guys. And we'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.